being able to present the commissioners to the audience. It's going to be a very good event. It is not an input hearing. It is not our educational outreach, but that will be a component, and hopefully at that time we will, and I don't know by that time we would have the video, but anything that we could present, the toolkit, of course, we would be able to present. We'll be able to kick off and talk about our schedule of input hearings. So it's really sort of an important sort of bridge in between now and actually the input hearings themselves.
Oh, okay. So, commissioners, any thoughts, questions?
Having attended, Commissioner Raya and I attended the one in January. It's very successful, and it gives us a great deal of exposure. Now we have so much more information to present, so we'll be ready and prepared for this.
And they say that the one in San Francisco is going to be much larger now as there's more interest in this subject and more people involved.
Mr. Wilcox, is this something that you would encourage the commissioners to attend for the full workshop in terms of being educational? Or are you thinking that
I don't think that it's necessary as an educational piece for the commissioners themselves. I think it's more of a basic community-oriented education.
Okay, so are you looking for commissioners to attend the lunch?
Yes, yes, we are, and I just have to check with our chief counsel about how many we can have there presenting, and of course, you know, we're not expecting people to come a long way for this. If you'd like to be there and be part of the presentation, that's great. Of course, we have some Northern California commissioners that are in that area. But I would welcome and can communicate to all of you once we get a little bit more clarification on that.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Aguirre?
Yes, typically at these events, conferences, you have information tables. So
Yes,
So I would expect that we would have something like that.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, not only that, we're going to be handing out information, you know, to the seats, to the luncheon. It won't just be, so we'll be hand delivering materials to them.
Thank you.
Do we expect our line drawers or potential line drawers or consultants to be involved in this process at that point?
I haven't even gotten to that point yet until we actually have them, and then I am probably figuring that they're going to be extremely busy. But if I did think that if there was a possibility that would be very helpful, but I think that probably remains a question for Monday.
Any other questions? Other commissioners? Rob, so I have here some copies of the announcement, the flyer.
Yes, those are just the very first that went out, and then they're going to have we're going to have another flyer that's going to be going out next week. It's going to have the names of the participants and about the commission.
And the agenda is going to be posted as well?
Yes.
Okay, and so the public is invited no matter where they are? We're
Correct.
encouraging the public to attend.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so.
Can I just, I just wanted to point out to Mr. Wilcox a term in this flyer, which
Yes.
I assume they
Yes, they're
produced
fine.
it. Voter-approved CRC.
Maybe we have a third choice now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I like
Could be,
that.
could be.
Yeah. Thank you.
If not there, then I think it's just a good,
Yeah.
it puts us in the right context. So.
Okay. Good. And I noticed you have a whole slew of nonprofit partners.
Yeah, all the partners of Redistricting California.
You have AARC. I never heard of some of these groups. MELDA, the Berkeley Centers, Greenlining, Common Cause. That's great. That's really great. So this is our kickoff. This is our way of starting the process.
Well, it's our way of participating in Redistricting California's conference and using it as a vehicle to kick off and to really get some notoriety, especially with the ethnic media regarding the public input. Yes.
Okay, so let's go on to the video itself. Let's talk about that. You're going to do it at this venue?
Well, we've been talking about a couple of different things and conceptualization of videos. One important video that we want to do is, and it's not a lengthy one, what we want to be able to do is put a video out there that is going to excite the public, briefly educate them, get our message out, and specifically target talking about the public input meetings. Because this is what this is all about. Any video, any toolkit is all about the public being able to access these hearings, because that's going to be the key to the commission's success, is making sure that we're engaging the public and they're coming out. So we have, and we talked about in the Public Information Committee meeting today, secured the help of the Chapman University Film School. I don't know if you're familiar with that university and their film school, but it's one of the finest in the nation. And they have committed to us two of their very fine filmmakers. All of their editing bays and digital equipment and the microphones and the lighting and their faculty advisors involved in this project. We are going to have from them probably in the beginning of either Sunday or Monday. We're working with them on some storyboard regarding a video featuring the commissioners themselves. I know that it has been talked about trying to video a workshop, but we feel that the best way to communicate the story of what the commission is doing, what the commission is about, and the public input hearings are the commissioners themselves. You represent a wide array of Californians. You are the ones that the people need to trust and have a relationship. For you to be on camera and speaking to the public, that's very important. So we will have that, and we're planning on getting this up and running and having the film crew up here when you're here next week and taping this next Thursday. Because we know we don't have any time. There's no time now, and we feel, and something that's very professionally done, what we, most importantly, we want to get this, what they call out there, virally. That we're on YouTube, that we're on our website, but we have, all those partners that you read off with the logos, they're all standing by saying, you give us that video and we'll get it out there. Now, what we have heard from the experts, especially the filmmakers, in saying for something to be successful, it does need to be short. If you're having 15, 20, 30 minutes, you're going to lose people. Because we do want them educated. But here is a video that can point, if you want more information, you can go to our website. And if they're interested, so if we hook them in with that, then they go to our website and they get the toolkit. Now, you'll see the toolkit in a little bit, and that has all of the help that they need. And then also we're pointing them to the redistricting centers, the area centers. And that's, so once we can hook them in and get the story out there and get them to come to the website, that, I think, will be the most expedient, most effective way that we can go about getting the word out.
I see. It's an interesting approach. Very, very different, but I like it.
And very cost-effective.
Very cost-effective. So the idea of this piece is to highlight the diversity on this dais and to communicate on a personal level, so that the constituency of the voters out there can see that we are them and they are us, and then if they're inspired enough, they go to our website for the details.
Absolutely, and you will be talking about why the process is important. I'm like you, I can see the script. I'm like you, and I need you to help us do this job, and we need to hear from you, and here's what the process is going to look like, and here's why it's important, and here's why you should care, and here's why it matters. Those very important points, and not getting too technical, because first you got to get them interested.
So you see it as 15 minutes or less
Oh,
than that?
no, we're talking about maybe, the most, maybe 5.
5.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that'll fit right in our budget.
Really, 30 seconds fits into our budget, but.
Commissioner?
Okay, yes, Commissioner.
I just want to think, as you said that, Mr. Wilcox, I was thinking about how effective some of these Super Bowl commercials are, just 30 seconds
Well,
a
yeah,
minute.
that's right.
A lot can be communicated in 1 minute, and it's hard-hitting. But, so is the concept that each and every commissioner individually would have his or her own video script in a 5-minute period or so, or are you considering
Well,
all of us collectively?
It was thrown out that they would cut to all 14 of you. So say, and I don't want to get too technical into this because we can explain this later, but if you would, maybe you'd sit down there and you'd read through the script and they would film you, and then they might edit it, and you'd have a part and the other commissioners would have a part. I'm not sure. They're coming back to us with a proposal on whether to use all 14 to see if logistically that fits. Also, we're going to have it a script translated so that we can have commissioners talk and speak in Spanish in it as well.
Oh, I love that. Good. Mahalo. Okay, any other? Did you have a question? Yeah. All right. So let's go on to our venues. Do we have a tentative schedule on how we're going to conduct not only the input meetings, but the frequency, the location, et cetera, et cetera?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, and just for the public, I want the public to know that this is brand new to us as well. We're working along with the public on these dates and these times, so we're going to have a slew of questions, and we're going to sort this out and make it work. So, Rob?
May I ask, is it posted on the website?
Is it posted on the website? Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. So, Rob, you want to take us through this?
Yes, as you can see, the first meeting will be on Thursday, the 7th in April, beginning in the northernmost region that we're having meetings, which will be in Reading. And this April through May.
Wilcox, I'm sorry, real fast. You said the yellow. Can you just back up for just a second? The 5th and 6th, is that a business meeting first?
Yeah, the yellow is our business meeting. That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, so you have April and May, and that's pre-map. And at the end of May, we're shooting to have a regional, or really kind of a statewide meeting with the statewide partners that wanted to present maps. And we're looking at having that at CSUN Northridge. And that will be presented with those groups on the 25th, and then the commission will work with the line drawer on the 26th and 27th.
So, hold on here. So, between now, April, to May 20th, we have a series of input hearings throughout the state of California, and they're all identified here by regions. And that is to go to these regions and ask groups, individuals, the public, citizens, to give us their input on the census data or whatever mapping information they want to share with us.
Well, yeah, and basically the number one question, tell us about your community.
And tell us about
Right.
your community, yes. And we'll come to that next.
Right.
Right after this. Then after that is all done, we have one big super meeting on May 25th. And that will be in Northridge, and it is designed to reach out to major organizations.
Right. Many major organizations, the ones that presented at our outreach meeting that we had on that Saturday, who said we're going to be presenting maps and this will be the time for them to do that.
Okay, so.
And the reason that it is late in the process is because they need as much time as they can in putting together statewide maps.
I agree. So there are groups like NALEO and MALDAF and the CAPAFAR and SCAPL, the Asian Pacific Islander groups.
Yes.
Okay. So that day is designed for them to give us their feedback as to the census data and their definitions of communities of interest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So it's a very important day. The very next day, the 26th, 27th
Yes.
of May, all in Northridge again.
Yeah, all green are with our meetings, public meetings with the line drawer.
All the line drawers. So that goes all the way to June 6th, right?
Correct.
And we're also combining business meetings in June along with the line drawing sessions.
Yes, as necessary.
As necessary. I see. And then you have here June 6th, and this is a...
Question, if I may.
Yes.
On the 25th of May. On the 25th of May, the meeting with the organizational groups, do we expect the line drawers to be in that meeting?
Yeah, I believe so, yes, yes.
Okay?
So
Thank you.
to follow up on that, and you have the line drawers at the 26th and 27th starting the process down there just because we'll physically be down there, so you're utilizing the time.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
And so that's, I'm assuming for line drawers, they can have their equipment down there as just as easy as they can up in Sacramento?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And that would make sense, make a lot of sense.
And
Yes.
my
Commissioner
assumption here, looking at this, is that on the 25th, the line drawers aren't actively involved in the process. It's the organizations or partners revealing their information to us.
That
The
is
following
correct. It's their
day,
time
with this
to present.
fresh information, then the line drawers can sort of digest what's been presented and move forward.
Yes, Commissioner DiGiulio.
I'm just curious, too, was there any reasoning behind we start with line drawing on the 26th and 27th, so we have 2 days, and then there's not quite about a week's break, and we resume the line drawing? Was it just to kind of get us a head start? I know that's the Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
So we kind of get ahead, we start the process a little bit, then
Yeah, and
pick it
I
up
think
again.
I think there was some concern that the line drawers would need some time themselves to go back and to do their work.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure if they were
Right.
the reason to start the process versus having that initial break.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And, go ahead.
Commissioner Yao.
It appears that the commission as a group need to give the line drawers some direction before they actually start drawing lines. When do you anticipate that block of discussion to take place based on the schedule that you have before us?
Beginning on the 26th. That is why the time is set aside for a meeting with the line drawer. Because the maps aren't going to be out until June the 6th. So that's when you'll be having your discussion and your input with the line drawer.
Commissioner Baraba.
So
Oops, sorry. Commissioner Yao, I'm sorry.
So it's anticipated that the 25th, 26th, 27th full commission meetings, and not just the, okay, I see commission / line draw. I didn't understand whether, I knew that the business meeting is the full commission, but I didn't understand that the commission / line draw, the expectation is for the full commission to be there as well. So that is the expectation.
Correct.
Yeah,
Is that the understanding?
I think so. Let me get Commissioner Baraba and then Commissioner
For
Nana.
the sake of perception, I think having the line drawer as a separate box is not a good idea. We ought to point out that the line drawer is not working alone at this point. They're going to have our input. And I think this is the kind of thing that could lead people to say you have to have two line drawers, so you're impartial. This yellow and green, this should really be one color.
What green signifies is a public commission meeting with the line drawer, not a separate.
Yeah, but you see, it's not the line drawer, it's the commission with the line drawer there.
All right.
Because I think the point we got to make is the commission is the impartial body. The
Okay.
line drawer is an extension of the direction of the commission. I think that's the point that Commissioner Yao was making.
Okay. We can definitely make that and talk about.
That's just a terminology, so a terminology aspect, so commission line drawing or something like that.
Meeting with line drawing.
Yeah, in addition to the regular business meeting.
So just change the terminology so that we show. Absolutely.
Commissioner Raya.
Thank you. The sessions that are, I think a legend would be helpful too, because then with the colors, we'd know what the colors signify. But the sessions that are other colors, purple and pink and
Right.
those colors. Now, those would be sessions where we wouldn't necessarily all be present. Is that, or we,
I think that.
I mean, there might be some flexibility.
Oh, well, I mean, it's understandably that all 14 are not going to be able to be at all meetings, but it is set up that way that this was a full commission meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. And Commissioner Parvenu?
Just a quick follow-up. In the, let's just say in June, for example, where we have the purple color here, knowing that these are regional meetings, where you have the yellow business meeting, it's expected that all 14 of us appear, for example, on the 22nd in Long Beach, and then also appear the following day on the 23rd in Culver City, which pleases me quite well.
Yes, I thought it would.
Okay, so following that pattern, so we're going to be on the move. So
Yes.
that's good. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Valentine?
Yes, Commissioner.
May I ask what the general time frame? I know that's probably not nailed down, but are you looking at evening meetings what have you found to be convenient for these meetings?
Yes, it would be in the evening, probably starting no earlier than 6 p.m. And it has been expressed to us by many and those out in the community that the best times are the weeknights.
6
Thank
to what time?
I think you have to. I think you have to make it open-ended.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so bring your sleeping bags. All right, that's a commitment.
I'm just looking at it. Then during the day, is there something something productive we can find to do?
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
Travel.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, some of them aren't good. I mean, like, for example, Riverside, L.A., Santa Ana. If
Right.
you're,
Oh.
those of you who are coming down to our part of town, you're going to have your day as, I guess, DSW.
We'd be happy to come over and you can entertain us.
I'll mow my lawn.
Happy to entertain.
let me tell you that there will be, and of course this will be for some of the commissioners, I will be utilizing your help in publicity. Because when we have that day of, that there are morning shows and radio, TV, and those types of things. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank
Can
you.
I, a point of, just a correction on this, on page 2, on Thursday the 5th, Hanford, if you could just pin in that that's a Section 5 county as well, you would have completed all 4 Section 5 counties in your first meetings. Yes. Kings?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you type that in later on, Section 5?
We've got a lot of changes now, so we'll get them done.
Okay. Okay, so there's some key dates here. I just want to make sure the public hears this. The first key date is the release of the Commission's trial map. And we're looking again on June 6th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Our first draft map.
Yes.
And I believe at our couple of Saturday meetings ago, a number of organizations had spoken about recommending a date somewhere around there so that the communities have more of an opportunity to examine the census data and get back to us.
Correct.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. So that's the key date, June 6th. Then, from that point on, we begin a whole nother series of regional meetings to get feedback on that initial map. And starting with Region 8, which is Northern California, Oakland, Richmond, San Francisco, and working our way down, it appears, to Regions 7, which is Monterey, Section 5 County, Region 5, which is San Luis Obispo, Santa Maria, Region 5, which is Oxnard, Santa Paula. Then we go to June 20th, Region 1, which is Mira Mesa, North San Diego, and that's the end of the 14-day holding period for our first draft maps. And then I see you have nothing after that, meaning we continue to take public hearings then
Yes.
on the 22nd, 23rd, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, all the rest of the month. And I see you have the line drawers back online the last week in June, the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And that, I presume, is going to be with the commission, getting that feedback, and we're saying, okay, we got this input, what does that happen with that line
are-
over here?
These are all public, full commission meetings.
Yeah, that's our venue. That's when we're analyzing the data, working with our map drawer. Okay, so that closes out the month of June. So then we go to July, and on July 1st, based on that commission feedback and line drawing with our line mapper, we then released our second draft map as we see appropriate. So that would be our second opportunity to respond back to the community. We make those changes, and then we go to a series of regional meetings again to get feedback on that second change. That's starting with Region 2, Moreno Valley, Region 4, Santa Clarita, Region 6, Stockton, Region 6, Bakersfield, and then we're leaving the 13th, 14th open, I guess, depending on the kind of response we get back from the community. If the demand is a certain area, then we'll have it there.
Correct.
And then on July 15th, that ends the 14 noticing period. If the commission then decides to review all that material with our map drawer, we then set aside almost all of, in fact, all of the following week to take that input and discuss possibly doing a third change.
Right.
So that would be all of July, the week of July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. So it's all of those next series of days. And if we decide that's it, there's no more changes, then we publish the final map on the 26th of July. That would be it. Commissioner DiGiulio.
Oh, I had a question in terms of, I know one of the things we've heard back from public comments is the need to be in areas that are highly populated, LA, San Francisco area, regions, Bay Area, go back there more often. I just because I'm not counting right now, maybe Mr. Wilcox, could you mention, do you feel like some of those areas have been covered, that concern has been covered in terms of the number of meetings?
Yes, I believe so. I believe we've given great blanket coverage, but also to not just in the city of LA, but also there are these really hot spots of growth in the Inland Empire and Riverside and the San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita, Antelope Valley, and on beyond, and that we are making sure, and that's why you'll see when we go to a region that we won't just go back to, the city of LA or South Los Angeles, but we'll look at the South Bay and what's going on there. So I believe that this schedule has pretty good coverage in all of the growth areas.
And I had a question for the advisory committee in terms of, have you made any determination or recommendation as to how many commissioners you'd like to see? Or I know that it seems to me it's still been floating around whether it's as many as you can, or at least a minimum of 3. And I'm assuming with a minimum of 3, we'd have to find some way of putting a calendar together that would show having the commissioners starting to sign up, so to speak, so we could see if there's a representative. Maybe there's a system in place. I don't know if
We
the
have not,
advisory
we have
committee-
not, but I know the discussion has been along that line, and to ensure that we have at least one Republican, one Democrat, and one non-declared at these meetings.
I think Mr. Wilcox was suggesting the more the merrier.
Yeah, I'm seeing that this, and I think it's what we're hearing that the community is going to expect, that you're going to have a full commission, because they want to know that they're being heard by as many